Welcome back. Today we're going to tackle menus in Drupal because I bet you're wondering how the heck do we create navigation for our site. We've been creating all this content, we've added articles, and we've added basic pages. I sure would like to be able to build some sort of a navigation menu for my users to access this information, and that's what we're going to tackle. We have in the Bartik theme, we have this default navigation menu, or it looks like there's a navigation menu that's started here. There's currently just one tab here, and that's the home tab. And of course, if I click on that, it just brings me back to the home page, the front page that I'm on. So that's great. It sure would be nice if we could add extra tabs there. How do we go about doing that? Well, this is something that's under the structure menu. But before I go there, I'd like to take a quick look. Let's plan this out. It's always worth planning out how you want your menus to appear. Let's take a look at our content, what content is available to us. And we see that we currently have two basic pages made. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to create a third basic page so that we've got those three basic pages to play with, and then that'll give us a little bit more flexibility with our menu. So why don't we do that? I'm going to go ahead and click the Add Content button, and what I want to do is just create a new basic page. And I already have, let's see, I've got a welcome page, which is my default front page. I've got an About Us page. Why don't we create a Contact Us page? Okay. And again, I'm just going to put some dummy text in here. I'm not actually going to put some real text in there. There we go. And I'm just going to go ahead and click Save. And let's take a quick look at what we have here. Okay, there's a contact us page. Pretend, we can pop a contact form or some email address or something like that there later. Okay, let's take a quick look. There's the front page. Let's have another look at what content we have available to us. And now we have three basic pages: About Us, Welcome, and Contact Us. Oh, you know what else we should do? Let's actually go and edit this, and let's edit the alias right down here, the URL path setting here. Let's actually give it an alias. Let's say Contact Us. Okay, that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and click Save. That's nice. So there's our Contact Us page. We've already created an alias for Welcome. You can see that because I'm hovering over the page right now, and you can see in the lower left-hand corner it says Welcome. Okay, and then finally there's also an alias. We already created an alias for About Us. We did those manually. Again, I've mentioned that there are modules that will do this automatically for you, and we'll be learning about those in a few screencasts. But for now, we've got Contact Us, Welcome, and About Us. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, let's dive right into menus. So I promised structure is where we go for this, because remember, as I said last time, structure is where all the cool stuff is. We were playing around with blocks before. Let's dive into menus. Menus is just down here. I'm going to go ahead and click on the menu section. And whoa, okay, we have a whole bunch of options here, and now things are starting to seem a little overwhelming. Well, that's okay. Just take your time. What we're looking at here is a number of different menus that are available to us. Why don't I just go ahead and open this site in a new tab so we can take a quick look at the front page of the site. And this is like, whoa, okay, why do we have all these different menus? Well, when we're talking about menus, we usually think, when we were just talking about menus, we were talking about this navigation bar up here. But Drupal actually allows you to have different types of menus. You actually have a huge variety of menus to choose from. Let me point out two other menus that you may or may not have noticed. This right up here, this is actually a menu as well. Okay, this is what Drupal calls the user menu. And then right here, so if I were to click through on here, I would see all the links that are included in the user menu, which in this case happens to be located up here. Different themes will implement the location of different menus differently. Okay, so what else is there? Okay, there's also this navigation menu. Okay, that's interesting. And look at that right here, navigation. This is the navigation menu. You can, yes, it's true, you can have your menus available as blocks. In fact, you can actually move the location of all these menus. You could decide to put them all as blocks. You could put them in your sidebar. You could put them at the bottom. You can move your menus anywhere you want. Okay, we won't worry too much about the management menu, although just keep in mind that that is something that we could enable. It's a block right now. We could currently enable it. It's disabled right now. Main menu is the one we care about right now. And the reason we know this is the right one is if we read the description, it says that the main menu is used on many sites to show the major sections of the site, often in a top navigation bar. Keep in mind, often, it doesn't have to be like this, but more often than not, your main menu is going to be located in a top navigation bar. And that, in this case, for Bartik, for this particular configuration, that's what is referring to this menu that is right up here. Although you might be telling me, you know, it doesn't really look like a menu yet. It looks just like a home button. Ah, well, let's take a look. Let's actually go ahead and list the links. I'm clicking on the List Links button over here to see what are the links that are currently in this menu. And we'll notice that we currently have one link in here. The link is the Home menu or the Home button, and that's exactly what we have here. Interesting. What do you think what would happen if we added a link? Well, let's try it out. Okay, so I'm going to click the Add Link button, and ooh, another form to fill out here, but that's okay. Let's just think for a moment, what were the pages we wanted to add to our menu here? Okay, well, if you think we already have we just created a Contact Us page, and we also have that About Us page. Okay, why don't we go ahead and create that About Us page? Let's create a link to About Us. Okay, and this is going to be the menu link title, which is a required field. This is the text to be used for this link in the menu. See, I'm just reading the instructions here. I know you're capable of reading it, but sometimes it's just nice to have someone read it out loud to you. So the text to be used for this link in the menu. In other words, what are the words that are going to be printed on this tab? That's all that means, okay? Path. Okay, we've talked about paths before, right? This can be, and tell you right here, this can be an internal Drupal path such as, okay, and that we'll come back to this configuration, or an external URL such as a link to an external website, and again, enter front if you want to link to the front page. This is looking familiar, isn't it? Yeah, it's just those aliases we were creating. And because we can use internal Drupal paths, okay, like relative to where we're located right now, we can just put about us, because that's the alias. We don't need to tell Drupal the full address where the site is located. Drupal knows darn well where it's located, okay? All you need to do is just put that path, okay? If we were linking to an external site, which we could do, we would have to cut and paste the entire address in there. But because we're linking to another page inside the site, we can just write the alias. Now this is interesting. Description. Notice that it's not required, but I always like adding a description. This is the text that's going to be shown when you hover over the menu link. Okay, when you hover over like this, a little tooltip will pop up. We don't have one showing up right now because it's not set for home, but I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's write a little description that say learn all about Robo Bunny attack. Okay, cool. What else? What else? What else? What else? Okay, yeah, it has to be enabled. Okay, if we disable it, that's not going to be good to us. Shows expanded. I'm going to come back and explain what this means later, but for the time being, let's just leave it like that. Okay, and here, right here, we can indicate the parent link, and this, this might look really, really complicated, but all this means is that if you wanted to have like a link be a child menu or a menu item be a child menu, like a kind of drop down menu and stuff, this is how you could manage that. We're not going to use that, and in fact, I don't think that Bartik actually supports drop down menus. I'm not entirely sure. There are some themes that do, and so we can tackle that at a different point in time. But for now, let's just keep it nice and simple. The parent link is we're just putting it in the main menu, nice and simple. And this wait. What the heck is this wait? Okay, the wait has to do with where this menu item is going to be located, like in what order, okay? And the way Drupal does it is the heavier links, okay, the heavier links will sink to the bottom and the lighter links will be positioned nearer to the top, and you're like, what in the world does that mean? Why don't we just leave it at 0? And then I'll show you, we'll come back to this and I'll demonstrate what happens. I'll be brutally honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of using weights to set the order of links in a menu, simply because there's easier ways to do it. I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. And then if you want to use weights, that's perfectly fine too. Okay? All right, so let's just review, we've got the menu link title up here, right? This is the text that's going to show up in the tab. The path, this is telling Drupal, okay, where are we going to redirect the person once they click on this? Where are we going to send them from within the site? And I've got an internal Drupal path here, so that's cool. Okay, and this is why it's really good to create those aliases, because if you hadn't created that alias, you would have had to write something like node/36 or whatever the heck it was, and like we just don't have room in our brains to remember that sort of thing. Next, a description. This is what's going to show up in that little yellow tooltip when you hover over the link. Okay, we definitely wanted it enabled. We're not going to worry about the rest of this stuff. As long as this says main menu, we're golden. Let's click on save. And wow, okay, this is exciting. So now what's happened? We've added a new menu link in here. It says about us. Okay, and look, actually, hey, the tooltip's working. Look at that. Learn all about Robo Bunny Tech. But really, the litmus test is, does it work on our site? Let's go ahead and reload the site. Wow, we just added a link. How about that? Yeah. I'm going to click on that and it brings us to our About Us page. Cool. Look what you just did. Now, okay, wonkiness though. Shouldn't the home button be on the far left? I mean, that's sort of a web convention, right? No problem. This is where those weights come in. If you click on the show row weights, you see that you can change the weights here. But you know what I'm a fan of? I love drag and drop. And yeah, you can just drag and drop like that. Now, of course, the changes don't get applied until you actually click Save Configuration. So boom, let's do that. Let's go ahead and reload that. And yeah, there you go. About Us, and click back on Home. I mean, that was ridiculously easy, wasn't it? Yeah, do you see what I mean about the drag and drop? I don't like having to worry about numbers when I can just drag and drop things into various orders. If you want to disable it, if you're like, ooh, I want to take that out, I don't necessarily have to delete it. I could just disable it temporarily. Maybe you want to leave everything set up, but you just want to disable it temporarily. You could certainly do that. Okay, and you just reload, and okay, that link, that tab now should be gone as soon as we finish reloading here. There we go, it's gone. But then, you know, you want to do some tweaks, blah, 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 and then you're like, yeah, re-enable that for me, please. Yay, save configuration, boom. That's just a different way. Yeah, I know you could delete it, but sometimes it's when you've got things set up the way you like them, sometimes it's just easier to enable them and disable them later. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Shall we add another one? Yeah, why the heck not? Hey, you know what? I'm just going to reload this. Boom. Okay. We have an About Us. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, we've got that Contact Us. Let's do it again. Let's add a link to the Contact Us. There we go. What's the path? Do you remember we just called it Contact Us? By the way, this has to be accurate. Okay, this has to be accurate. You need it to be exactly the same way. In my case, I just had Contact Us, no spaces. Make sure it's exactly the same. Okay, no slashes, no forward or backslashes or anything like that. Just the alias itself. Description. Send us a message. Yay! Parent link is going to be there. Let's go ahead and click Save. Okay, and are we happy with this order? Home, About Us, Contact Us. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, good. Let's go ahead and reload this, and there you go. Boom, boom, boom. Wow. Okay, I'm going to let you experiment with that. Okay, go ahead and start playing around with various menus. When we come back, we're going to do a little bit more work with menus. But for now, go ahead and give that a shot. Try creating some sort of navigation for your site, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, thanks for watching.